Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is the ABM All By Myself podcast. It's episode 26. We're coming in hot on episode 30, a huge milestone for us. And like I said before, once we get to that point, time is going to be flying by faster than we ever could have imagined it. So let's just take this second to cherish the moment, to intake life as it is happening, because it is never going to repeat nor go back. It will only go forward. And the best way to get this podcast moving forward is by liking, commenting, subscribing, and make sure that you ring that notification bell, ding dong, to stay up to date every day. Fine print almost every day when these episodes do go live, and be the first amongst your friend circle to share this with each other, because sharing is caring. And in today's episode, I care obviously about each and every one of you, so I'm going to share one of my favorite stories. It has to do with a New Year's Eve party. I was 20 years old, and you know how it is. If you don't know about a party by New Year's Eve itself, you're kind of scrambling. You're hitting up people that you barely talk to, maybe people you haven't talked to in years, asking them where the party's at, and just hoping that something comes along, right? So if I remember correctly, it was probably early afternoon, and I did know about a couple of local shindigs going down, but I just kind of wanted to get outside of the area. I wanted a new environment to be social in, to partake in the festivities, and I just kind of wanted to get out, you know what I mean? I wanted to make an event of this New Year's Eve, so I was holding off for something like that to come across my my desk, you know? So, at this point, maybe let's say a couple of hours go by, and a buddy Alex that I met a couple times, he wasn't like someone I knew for years, but he was a cool enough guy. He reached out to me and let me know that he knew of a party that was about 2 hours away in the city of Oceanside. So again, we were in Long Beach. The party was about 2 hours away, kind of near San Diego in Oceanside. And he said, hey man, I know about it. It's this girl that's throwing it. All these rad people are going to be there. I just need a ride, and I would love it if you went with me. And I said, dude, this is exactly what I've been waiting on. Let's make it happen. I'll pick you up in an hour, and then we'll go from there, right? So, and I do remember letting him know, hey, I don't have any weed necessarily, so if you could bring some, that'd be rad. And then once we get to Oceanside, I'm sure the drinks will be flowing, and we will be partaking in the festivities without worrying. We won't have to be packing to have a good time once we get there. But for the road, why don't you go ahead and bring something to have fun with? So I pick him up. I asked him to pull the weed out. I'm excited to get some smoke in me. And he lets me know that unfortunately he's out. He doesn't have any, but he has like $10. And he wants to throw that $10 in on a sack. So I had maybe 15, 20 bucks, and I had a little bit of gas in the car, so I was willing to go all in. So we had $25 between the two of us. I remember because we bought a half-eighth, which I don't even know if people buy half-eighths anymore, but it was a half-eighth, like 1.75 grams, and enough for a couple of joints and enough to get you by. So we get that from my buddy. We meet him up at a Little Caesars, and just to give you a visual here, it's a Little Caesars all the way to the right of a shopping center. To the left, there's other stuff, restaurants, there's an auto parts store, a Thrifties or something like that. And then to the right of the Little Caesars in the next lot, on the corner is a gas station. So we're waiting at this Little Caesars for maybe 5-10 minutes for my boy to show up. You know how it is. Drug dealers always seem to be around the corner, but that corner takes like 25 to 30 minutes to drive around sometimes for whatever reason. But luckily, my boy was pretty thorough that day, and he was over to us within about 10 minutes. So we're chilling there talking about the night. My boy rolls up to serve us this sack, and he comes over to the driver's side window. He passes me the bag. I pass him the money. I pass the bag along to Alex, who's sitting in the passenger seat. And, me and my boy, we talk for a couple minutes, see what he got going on for the night, share with him what we're about to do, and then just kind of go from there. So by the time I'm done talking to my buddy, he heads out, gets in his car, goes off. I look over to Alex, and I'm asking him, like, hey, pull the weed out. Let's get this shit packed. Like, let's get going, right? And he's just like chewing profusely, and it looks like his head is just like sweating. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, what are you doing? What's going on here? And he points over to the gas station to let me know that there's cops there. I'm thinking, dude, who gives a shit? We're in Long Beach. I'm not even worried about it. Show me the weed and let's get going. And he says, no, he had like shit in his mouth, so it's hard to understand. But what he was getting across is he was on probation. And if he were to be caught with anything, any amount, if he smelled like weed, he would basically go to jail. So he couldn't risk it, and he had to eat all of what we just bought. And I wasn't necessarily relieved for him. him. I didn't feel better because he was out of a predicament. I felt enraged that we were now in this predicament. We have no weed. We got a 2-hour drive. I'm kind of irritated with the person next to me, so I'm not necessarily excited about this anymore. I'm more frustrated. And then I'm jealous, because he ate it all. I'm guessing it's going to hit him in a little bit, and I'm going to be driving stone sober while my buddy is over here giggling and shit. So it's already off to a little bit of a bad start. However, I'm excited still because we're going out of the area, and once we get to the party, all will be good. So along the way, we're driving maybe for about 10 minutes. We're about to get on the freeway, and then I realize there is no possible way I have enough gas to get us to Oceanside and back, so we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do here. My buddy Alex at that point, I let him know, I was like, dude, you ate all the weed, man. Can you please figure out how we can get gas? He let me know that his dad worked at a Walmart nearby. He didn't talk to him very often, but he is sure that he would help him out and give us like $20 if he asked his dad for it. So we go over to the Walmart, we park, and we're getting ready to go out, and he lets me know that, hey, I think it would be better if you went in there and just told him that you're with Alex. He really, really needs like $20, and if you could give it to me, I'll make sure that he gets it. It made no sense at the time, but I wasn't thinking very rationally. I was trying to get this $20 so we can get the hell out of Long Beach to Oceanside. So he tells me that his dad works in the gardening department. He's the manager over there, so he's easy to find, and his name is also Alex. So I go into Walmart, walk all the way back to the gardening section, and I just start asking where Alex is. Finally, I am led to Alex, and I let him know that, hey, I'm with your son. We're going out tonight. He let me know that he needed a little bit of money, and you would be happy to help him, so I'm just going to collect it and then go back to the car. He's just doing something in the car. I forgot what excuse I gave, but it was probably very stupid as I was 20, and so his dad just looks at me kind of blankly and says, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why I would give you money for my son. If he wants money, he can come in and get it from me directly. So I say, perfect. That sounds like a plan. It sounds like a done deal. I just got to get Alex in here. So I go out to the car. I let him know that, hey, dad located. You just got to go in yourself, dude. He ain't trying to give it to me for whatever reason. I'm not taking it personal, but you got to go in and secure the bag. So Alex goes in, secures the bag. He comes out. We put some gas in the car, and I think we save a little bit just in case. So now we're heading off to Oceanside. And within like 20 minutes, it's a beautiful day outside, everybody. I mean, you could see the mountains so clear. It was surreal at 2-3 o'clock. But by the time we get going, it is just in a torrential downpour. And although I don't mind too much, rain is never great for parties, it kind of takes away the outside environment. So I'm just hoping that the rain stops by the time we get there. So we're driving, we're cruising along the freeway, and out of nowhere, my car stops, and it's sputtering. We're on the freeway coasting. My car is dead, but the wheels are still moving, and I start pulling over to the side, and I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, fuck, dude, what are we going to do here? This is all bad. And Alex just seems not bothered. I think at this point, the weed that he ate had been kicking in, and so we're just, he's just chilling, but I'm stressing out. Luckily, as I pull over to the side, I start cranking the key, and the car starts back up, and that was really it. No other car issues, but it was probably a sign. I think this was a sign from God telling me that, hey, I'll let you restart this car, dude, but the fact that it stopped should be a signal for you to turn around, get this weirdo out of your car, and just go back to Long Beach, right? Stay in Long Beach for tonight. But I didn't take it as a sign. We kept going, and then my buddy let me know, because he had ate all the weed, that there's actually somebody on the way to Oceanside that owes him money, and that they just happen to sell weed, and he is positive that if we stop by there, we'll get some weed, and then we can head over to the party, which was probably like 30 minutes or so from there. So we end up going to this house. He tells me that these are all his buddies. He knows everybody on a personal level. They're going to hook us up with some weed. They'll probably smoke us out. It'll be rad, and then we'll get going. So we go into this house, and I don't know if you've ever seen Breaking Bad. I'm sure you have. It's one of the best shows of all times. But there's the gentleman, I can't think of his name, but the younger dude that is selling drugs for Heisenberg, right? I'm not going to take the time to think about it, but in his house, it has a certain vibe when you walk in. It's very dark. There's only like a couple of chairs. There's an entertainment center, maybe like a random arcade game or something, but it's very obvious that it's a tweaker pad, right? There's no concern about the decoration. It's just a couple of chairs to sit in and do drugs, something to, a TV to watch shit on, and that's about it, and maybe a mattress in the room. So right when we walk into this house, it feels immediately like a tweaker pad, and I'm just thinking, I don't want to be here for very long, and this doesn't seem like the kind of crowd that's just going to want to smoke weed. So we get in there, and right away, they're not really giving us a cool vibe, They see Alex, and instead of being like their best friends, it almost seems like they don't like Alex, and I just happen to be with them, so inherently they're not too into me. So Alex ensures them that someone in there is expecting him, so let him by. So we get into this house. People are just mad dogging us, meaning staring at us uncomfortably. Alex tells me, hey man, just go take a seat over there. Take a seat, I'll be back in just a few minutes. I gotta go to this back room. So I sit on one of like the 5 chairs that's all they pretty much have there, in front of this TV, and there's like a coffee table with shit all over it, drug paraphernalia, and not just stuff to smoke weed. So I was thinking this confirms my initial thought. I'm very excited for Alex to get the hell out of here, or get the hell out of that back room, and for us to leave. So I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes, on my phone. And at the time, phones weren't much more than just something you texted on and you made phone calls on. So I'm just playing like a caterpillar game or something like that. And the people are asking me, how do I know Alex? And I just let them know, I met him at a party, not overly familiar, but he knows about something going on tonight, so we're heading there. They're like, yeah, man, fuck that dude. And I'm just thinking, okay, perfect. Yeah, fuck that dude. Right on. I'm just trying to get out of here, So I'm sitting there doing my own thing, feeling a little bit of hostility, feeling like, because by association, they probably don't like me very much. And then I start hearing yelling coming from the room where Alex is supposed to be having a very friendly conversation with the gentleman that owes him money. And so, I hear the arguing going on. And and the guys that are in this room just start laughing, start saying, yeah, I figured that would happen. So I'm thinking, what the hell are they talking about? They figured what would happen, Is Alex going to get beat up back there? And then I'm just left in this front room by myself. And I would, at least I drove. So worst case scenario, I'll just get the hell out of here and drive away. I'm sure Alex is a resourceful enough guy to figure it out on his own. So luckily, about 5 minutes goes by beyond that. Alex comes out. The guy is still yelling at him, telling him to get the fuck out of his house, take me with him, which I gladly get out of the house. I'm assuming at this point he didn't get any weed, I'm just happy to get out of this tweaker dungeon with my life. And then I'm thinking the next thing we're doing is going to this party. So that's perfect. Let's just escape the nightmare that we're currently in, and let's go have some fun. So we get into the car, and then Alex breaks the news to me that unfortunately he can't find the address for this party, so we're going to have to figure something else out for the time being, but he is positive that anytime now he will be getting that address, and we will be able to go to this party that finally I've been waiting for the whole time. So we're driving around. We haven't gotten any kind of a text. And I just figure, fuck it. We're like in the Temecula-ish area right now. And I have a buddy that lives there. A matter of fact, the same buddy who has the house where me and Sandy met at a Pimpin' Hoe party. New couple goals episode up, by the way. Episode 2, link in the description. But I reach out to that guy because he always knew about the parties. If anything, I figured there'd be a party at his house. So I reach out to Ernie. That's his name. Shout out to you, Ernie, man. I'm stoked to hang out with you sooner than later here. And I reach out to Ernie and said, hey, dude, I don't know about anything going on tonight. I'm local. Do you know of any parties? And he says, yeah, fuck yeah, bro. Meet me at the Chili's. We'll have some dinner there. And then you can just go with me. You can leave your car at Chili's, and then we'll just drive around and go to the parties. So I'm like, dude, perfect. You're saving our night here. We hadn't gotten an address for the other party yet, and really, I'm just kind of over it. I'm excited to go hang out with my buddy Ernie and see what he has in store for us that night. So we meet him up at the Chili's. We're having dinner. We're all hanging out. And finally, we're off, So I leave my car there. Me, Alex, Ernie, and a few other people are en route to some parties. He said he knew of several. So we're going to start off with this one. And right when we get there, it's just a killer time. We're slamming fucking drinks. People are there offering us weed. We're smoking it up, having a good time, probably for like an hour or so. He let us know that we were like going to 3 or 4 parties. And then there was one particular one we would be on once it became midnight. And we were going to head out. So we head out of the first party, and realistically, leaving the first party is about where my memory starts to get shaky. Drinking quite a bit, smoking quite a bit. So we go to the second party, and from here it's all speculative. Now I'm just going to tell you what I was told I did, and then tell you from when I woke up. So what I remember hearing about myself is that I I pretty much challenged everybody to a drink off, very similar to the first time I drank, challenged everybody to a drink off, and I would just use the restroom in random places. He let me know that a few of the places we have didn't even have backyards. They just had patios outside of the room in the apartment, and I had peed off of a few balconies or these apartment ledges, evidently. And then at the final party we went to, I actually, in front of a large group of people, I peed directly into a trash can. So those are like the highlight reels that I got. And evidently, Alex, around the third party, decided that he was going to go somewhere else, hang out with some chick. So he had completely vanished, which freaked everybody out. But they're like, fuck it. We don't know this dude. Let's just keep it moving. So Alex had disappeared. I was peeing all over the place. And that was pretty much what I heard about. The next day, I wake up. I wake up in a house. I don't even know where I'm at. I'm assuming this was the final party house that we went to, the one where midnight happened. And I was just laying on a couch. Nobody was around me. I was in the same clothes, thank God. I had my socks on. I could see where my shoes were. So I felt like I hadn't been robbed or anything like that. I could feel my keys in my pocket. And then maybe about 5 minutes after I woke up, a girl comes over and lets me know that, hey, she stayed the night at this house too. It was some guy's house. And she had let Ernie know that when she woke up and when I woke up, she would give me a ride back to my car at Chili's. I guess she was a homie of Ernie. So again, shout out to you, Ernie, man, looking out for me, dude. So I'm like, oh my God, like what was last night like? And she's like, you don't remember? And then she proceeded to tell me pretty much the memories that I shared with you already, which was very embarrassing. I'm thinking, fuck, man, I was trying to have the time of my life around new people. And if anything, the people that I just met probably never want to hang out with me again. But the bright side of this is I didn't do all of this locally. So it's like what happened in Vegas can stay in Vegas type feeling, you know? I'll never see these people again, so who cares? So then I end up going to Chili's. And, I'm sitting there in my car and I'm thinking, I don't know where Alex is, but I'm going to try to give him a call. So I give him a call. He lets me know that he actually did end up going to the party in Oceanside. It was very, very cool. And they want me to go there and hang out for a little bit and meet up with them. So I thought, fuck, dude, this is great. Last night was kind of a bust. This is another opportunity for me to meet some new people. So I'm all in. So he gives me the address and, I lock it in. At the time, we didn't have just direct GPS. You had to go on MapQuest and you actually had to figure out, by streets and turns where you are going. I don't remember exactly how I got the directions or if he just gave them to me, but I was on my way. So I figured I'm going to get to this house. He told me it was like a mansion. It was on top of a hill and there was just drinks still. People were still smoking and we were going to have a great New Year's Day. So I'm approaching, and I'm getting pretty close, maybe within a few minutes or maybe a mile or so. And I'm stoked. I'm thinking this is the chance to rebound from last night. And as I'm driving, I notice somebody walking towards me and it looks very much like Alex. And I'm thinking, oh shit, this house must have some kind of a gate where we need a code. Alex is coming out to meet me and then we're going to go up into this mansion. So as I get closer, Alex waves me down. He approaches the car and lets me know that unfortunately we have to go immediately. Something happened at the party. It wasn't good. And we're just going to go ahead and head back into Long Beach. So I thought, fuck, dude. Every time, right? Why do I even trust that this guy has something positive in store when it's been a letdown every single time? So we end up starting our voyage back off into Long Beach, and I'm pretty low on gas, because we saved some money to have for the party, so I needed more gas. I mean, none of us had a family member or anything in nearby vicinities to give us anything. So at the time, what you could do is you could actually go into a grocery store anywhere that would accept checks, really, and you could buy something for $1 and then you write them a check for like $26. And what they would do is they would give you the overage via cash. So I actually knew that I didn't have any money in my bank account, but I did have a direct deposit going in the next day. Typically, these checks took a day to clear, so I could just write a check at Ralph's and then, we can have at least $25. So we go to a Ralph's, I buy some gum, it ends up working, they give me the $25, we get some gas, and then we end up on our way back into Long Beach. So which we get to Long Beach, I don't remember really what I did that day. I'm sure I dropped Alex off as soon as possible. And just as a fun fact, that check that I wrote actually was deposited immediately. It bounced, and I ended up having to pay an extra $40 on top of the $25 that I took out just to get gas, because the guy that I went with was a complete bust who ate all my weed and led me to a tweaker house and a party that didn't exist. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I hope you guys did enjoy that story. Share with me in the comments, do you have a party foul situation or a night that was supposed to be amazing that turned into a bust like that? Let us know. They're always fun to share. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And on that note, God bless.